Happy Tuesday, everyone. End of March. Here we are. Um, how are you this fine day? I haven't even looked outside, so I don't even know what life is like right now in Middle Tennessee. Um, I'm still recovering from VO Atlanta. Um, yeah. um, Tell me how you are. I would love to know. I just want to welcome you to this Ask Me Anything Facebook Live. And hey, there's Mike Praviti. Hello, Mike. I'm so glad you're here. Um, please do as Mike has done, and and let me know that you're here. It's really great to know that you're with me. And if you're watching on replay, please do the same. Let me know that you're here. I would like it's so helpful for me to know who's here. I just want to say that and to know that you're out there. Um, I thought today, these Ask Me Anythings, it's so funny. I was thinking to myself, well, instead of having to come up with a topic every week, which is daunting, I have to say. I just thought um, uh, I just thought, well, and Ask Me Anything really just opens up the whole big wide world. And at the same time, it's almost like it's almost too much. This is what reminds me of the importance of boundaries because, like kids can play a lot more, they're more free to play if you give them a boundary around the yard, right? Like, don't go past there. It's kind of the same. So I'm sort of feeling like I'm free floating. Um, I don't really have any particular agenda today, right? So I'm relying upon you to participate in the conversation and let me know what's on your mind. While you are getting your thoughts together, let me say hello to Genevieve and to Susan and John. Hello. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I'll just give you a rundown kind of my conference, which was, it's really funny. I went to the I went to the conference. I drove. I initially bought an airline ticket and I was like, what am I doing? So I drove and it was a lovely drive. And part of the way heading further south, I ran into some rain uh, and I gotta say, all y'all, if I can just, you know, be Southern for a moment, Tennessee drivers are insane. I just want to say that. And it isn't, they're so different than California drivers, right? California gets a really bad rap for all the crazy drivers because there's so much traffic and all that. But there's something measured about California drivers, whereas Tennessee drivers are just like, they're very good natured, I have to say, very good natured. But they come up behind you and they come up fast. So they speed and they tailgate. And so they come up behind you, like right on your tail. And then they, go around you and then get right in front of you and keep on going. But like the speed limit is like 70 where I live. So they're coming at me at like 80, 85. And now I've become a right lane driver. Like I was never a right lane driver. I'm a very assertive driver, right? Used to be a second from the left being, the carpool lane. So second from the left. That's where I live comfortably. And I'm a good driver, pay attention, move over if I need to, all that. That's not how it is here. It's the Wild West, but it's in the South. So anyway, so people are driving. It's two lanes. People are driving big semi trucks, the whole thing. And there was one moment where it's like there were 6 or 7 cars behind this semi, right? And they are all tailgating, all of them, all of them. I just like slowed back, like, I don't want anything to do with that mess, because if that truck like makes one wrong move, everybody's going down, right? So anyway, that was my experience driving there. But but it was beautiful, and the conference was great. And I didn't go to a single session, not one. I just talked to people. I made appointments for breakfast, lunch, cocktails, dinner, cocktails, and I'm totally exhausted. So I'm super curious how you all did at the conference, if you went, and if there were particularly good things that you enjoyed. I'm really glad that I went. I saw a lot of people that I haven't seen, those I didn't, have the good fortune of having lunch with. I certainly was able to greet a lot of people in the common areas and stuff like that. So that was great. It seemed like a good event to me. Um, and I know this is the first one that was under the helm of, or I should say, with Jay Michael and Anna Collins at the helm. So let me know how you did. And now I'm gonna just like go over here and see what your comments are. Um, John, tailgating is a pervasive thing in the South. I think it comes from being the home of NASCAR. That could be. That could be. Everybody wants to be in NASCAR. That's so funny. Um, okay, so let me come up here. Florida. Yeah, I do intend to come to Florida and visit. I have lots of uh, I have lots of friends in Florida. Boundaries are important for what we allow. Yes, not to control others. That is exactly correct. Exactly correct. What we allow. Yes. So it's good in that way. Like it's an ask me anything, but it's an ask me anything mostly about voiceover. Um, I allow things about life, and the way as it pertains to voiceover, right? Um, okay, Genevieve, here's a question. I'm wondering when reading copy, my first couple of reads are the best. The more times I go through it, the more I fumble. How do I improve the read then? Just really break down the script so I can do well in fewer takes? Um, well, are your first couple of reads the best in the sense of like you're getting through them in terms of reading them and getting them out of your mouth, or are they the best takes in terms of performance? I tend to be a first or second take person. And then if I get something in a first or second take, that's it. I move on. Like I don't keep at it, right? I don't try it. Your read is never going to be perfect. It's not, even if you think it's the best thing ever. And it may be the best thing ever, but it still isn't perfect, right? It's just what we're sending that day. That's it. So, um, the fumbling, I think, is a can it can be an indicator that you are working too hard to dissect the read and make something of it that isn't there, right? We're trying to figure out when that usually happens to me, I've lost the meaning. I've lost the thread of the meaning. And so I just have to go back and kind of shake my head, shake myself out of it, right? And and go back to the meaning, right? What is it that the writer is trying to say, and how am I going to impart it? What is the meaning? So I would say that, but I do not suggest that you do a million takes. I really don't. If you want to learn to be quick, which I think we want both. We want to be good and quick. That's what we want. Um, Learning to trust that your first or second take, if this is you, some people need to really warm up and their first or second take is not so great, right? But if this is you, as it is me, I'm a good reader, so I tend not to mess up the words, if you will. Um, Let your first or second take be the takes. I would say that. Um, and if you get to a point where you're like, I can't, you've sort of lost the thread, then I would say just like back off of it for a while and come back to it in 5 minutes and look at it, with new eyes. I would say that. But if there's something there, if you are saying my first couple of reads are the best, let it be and submit those. That's my initial take. unless I'm missing something. So if you want to clarify, just go ahead and do that. Let's see. Um, Mike, how often should coaching be on the table? Annually, monthly, quarterly? Sure, it's different for everyone and depends on what you're doing, but wondered if there was an unspoken rule. There's no unspoken rule. Absolutely no unspoken rule. It's whatever you're in need of. And if you feel uh, like you're missing something, or if perchance you get some kind of feedback somewhere from someone that says, yeah, maybe you want to revisit that read, then that's when you might want to get some coaching. I had somebody today. We had an initial consultation, and he asked me to listen to his demos, which I did. And so, in listening to those, he asked me, what do you think? Where should we start? What should we do?" And so I told him, I was like, "I think your commercial read is good. Your demo could use a brand imaging piece because that is how people are reading these days. But he also has a very distinct read. It's very good. Um, it is a it's a voice. I won't say a style. It's a voice that right now isn't, how do I like, it's not the popular read, but it's a great read. So he just needs to hang tight because everything comes back around, and the way that he reads is a totally viable way of doing voiceover, um and so he just needs to stay the course. I think that people sometimes think, like, this happened to me. It happens to me. I have a particular read. We each have our own particular voices. I have pretty precise diction, and I have to try really hard not to sound like an announcer. And so, and I have a kind of a warm and soft read. Well, I'm not going to go try to morph myself into someone that I'm not in order to chase a trend. I know that the type of voice I have and the type of read I do, there will always be a need for it. And so I hang tight, right? And so you ride the wave of trends. So, as that pertains to coaching, just because you may not embody a particular style of read doesn't mean that your read isn't useful, and you may just need to stay the course. Now, if there are different, obviously coaching provides this, it, it's good to check in on occasion to kind of go, how am I doing? How does this sound? Is there some tweak I can make? And there are tweaks to every read. I can tweak and still be authentic. All of us can tweak and still be ourselves. And so I think that's whether you're getting particular feedback. That is a good, that's a good barometer. But also, just how are you feeling about your reads? And I think it's good to check in on occasion, a couple times a year, maybe. But there's no unspoken rule. It's really, if you're moving along and things are all right, and you're feeling good about what you're sending out into the universe, then you're good. Um, I will tend to, I'll tend to check in if I'm not booking in ways that I think I should be booking, or if I'm sending off stuff that it's like, yeah, I thought that was competitive. Maybe it's not competitive. And I do this all from, again, one of my favorite phrases, like, as a detached observer of my work. So I'm not berating myself, right? I'm just going, how am I doing? How you doing over there? Is that working? Oh, not working so much? Maybe you want to check in. And then I have people with whom I check in. So, long answer to there is no rule. It's really, it's gut, it's instinct, and uh, it can also be discipline, right? It doesn't have to always be a touchy-feely thing. You may feel like, okay, you know what? Every 6 months I'm going to check in with whomever. That's great. Put it on your calendar and make it happen. And sometimes what you get out of that is the affirmation that you're doing great. And that's not a bad thing to hear. So, uh, let's see. Um, let's see. Okay, Genevieve, group versus individual coaching. Okay, so if you're trying to learn if you're really trying to learn a particular technique, or you're unfamiliar with, or you don't have a sense of what your read is, or where you stand, if you will, I think that group coaching is the way to go. I really do. Because you're in there with a bunch of people, so you get to hear and listen to what they're doing, and you actually can make assessments about what you're doing. If another person is getting some feedback and you're like, "Whoa, I do that too. Wow, I'm going to pay attention to that." Right? And you know, um, you get this peripheral personal coaching, if you will, right? By listening to and watching others. I think that's huge and really important. Um, I think that certainly in the beginnings and even in the midst of your voiceover career, you want group coaching. I think what you want um, from an individual coach is, certainly with regard to technique, is you want tweaking, right? You want to tweak something. Um, so I feel like individual coaching is for intermediate to advanced to working pro. That's my sense. Um, it's really hard as a coach. It's really hard to work one on one with somebody who is at the very beginning. There's so much to take in and so much that could be taught. And again, you're getting really great condensed um, coaching with group coaching. You're getting a lot of information that just one on one cannot impart to you without you spending a lot of money. And, you know, voiceover, to start a voiceover career is an expensive venture. And so I think that group coaching is a much better bang for your buck, if you will. And then tweak things with private coaching one on one. There are exceptions to that. I mean, I know there are people, but they tend to be people who have chosen, to spend a lot of money on coaching. And so they might coach with somebody for 6 months or for a year, and like that's a lot. It's a lot, but some people like that and it works well for them, and you know, but here I am, you're asking me my opinion, and I do think group coaching is the way to go. It just There's something about it too. Like you if you're really present and you are, again, a detached observer of everything that's going on, you can just really garner a lot of useful information, even about the coach. Do I want to work with this coach again? Does this coach have insights that are actually helpful? You know, where am I? Oh, wow. I think uh, maybe I don't need another beginning class because I know all these things. So maybe my next one is an intermediate or an advanced. So you get so much information from group coaching that can be useful to you and help steer you in the direction that you want to go and that you're ready to go, right? So there you go. Um, let's see. I have not been to this conference, but hope. Oh, guys are coming so fast with their questions. It keeps moving. Um, I have not been to this conference, but hope to at the next opportunity. Oh, gosh. It keeps jumping. Um, what is the best thing about it? Do you find it necessary for keeping? Oh, you guys are so quick. Um, do you find it necessary for keeping relevant in our industry? Christina, I think it's a fantastic place to to network. And by network, I don't necessarily mean find job opportunities. I mean, so that you know that you're a part of a particular community, that you are not alone and you're not the only one who's experiencing all the things that you're experiencing. That's the main thing of the hang to me. And then you're never going to get everything that a conference has to offer in one conference, right? I think it fits nicely once you kind of get your bearings about what a voiceover conference like that is. then you can start to say, oh, okay, so next year I think I'm going to focus on this thing, or I'm going to focus on that thing, or I've heard about this coach, I'm going to sign up for their X session. Or you'll never get everything done that you want to do. You would exhaust yourself. Like I said, it's like Tuesday, I got home Sunday night, I'm still exhausted. I didn't attend a single event and I'm tired, right? So, so I do think that there are a lot of really great people who, coaches and teachers, you know, not only in technique, but all the other things that are relevant to this business. You know, stuff about how to handle your money, stuff about how to handle imposter syndrome. There were some lovely things, you know, where people are sharing their experiences of how they've gotten through difficulties. Um, you can explore various genres, right? So there are people there doing all kinds. There's audiobooks, promos, commercials, all kinds of stuff. And you don't necessarily have to do X sessions because there are so many panels that that where you can go and really absorb some information. Excuse me. Um, so is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. It's just really helpful. Um, and uh, and when we're alone doing this business in our closet, and we're all we've got is the internet, it's just nice to get out and meet people, and uh, and commune, and then find so many resources all in one place. So I just think it's helpful. The first time I went with a completely different understanding of what it would be, and um, you know, if I may share my hubris. When I first went, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go there and teach people everything I know, and it's, you know, won't they be lucky, you know, kind of a thing." And I went there, and I was like, "Wow, there were so many people there who had so much to teach me about voiceover careers that are so different than mine." And I think sometimes we are isolated in our own little world about what this business is. So again, it's an opportunity to go and see what everybody else is doing. And so from that point on, I felt like, yes, I absolutely have something to offer that is very true. But I also have a lot to learn, um, particularly if I'm going to coach people, right? I have to know where people are coming from and what they're doing and how they got there, and you know, what paths they have traveled that are paths that I haven't traveled, but still, can I help? You know? So, so there's a lot. Is it necessary? No. Is it helpful? Absolutely. Um, okay, let me keep on keeping on here. Hang tight. Things come back around. I needed to hear this. How would you describe today's trend? Okay, I'm going to give this to you in just a couple of sentences. And I will say this really as it pertains to commercials. Although, you know, what happens with commercials tends to trickle into other areas. Um, not every area, and not necessarily with any like great depth or anything like that. But commercially, let's just say. Um, and again, this is my observation. Some people might state it differently. It depends upon where you're doing commercials, what kind of commercials you're doing. So there are a lot of factors involved. But let's just say TV commercials, okay? Because radio commercials really are a different animal. But TV commercials, what I grew up in the, well, what I literally grew up in the 70s, right? In the late 60s and early 70s, it pertains to this as well. But in terms of my voiceover career, in the late 80s and all through the 90s, really, um, we're still we're still working with what a lot of us call the Procter and Gamble read. And Procter and Gamble was such a huge advertiser. They still are, you know, but they were so pervasive, and it was a particular type of read. And the read, it has a smile. The read constantly has a smile on your face, and it's kind of it's a I'm going to convince you that you need to buy this thing, right? So the read is kind of like, I just tried this really great thing and here are all the benefits of it. It's fantastic. It changed my life. I think you should try it too. And you can get it at this place for this price on this date. Right? That's sorry, I keep hitting my mic. That's a gross generalization, but that is kind of what if you summarized that read, and we're all still doing that read in various parts of the country. It's a viable read, right? Um, I would say that it's more a local and a regional read, not a national branding read. So, so the read that's current, if you will, that will trickle into every other part of television advertising is, yeah, so I bought this thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. It helped me a lot. Yeah, you could try it. If you go, I think you can find it at the website. Like that. That's it, right? It's like I got nothing to prove to you. Yeah, I like it. I tried it. Try it or not. You might like it. I don't know. You might not like it, but whatever. So that's the difference. Does that make sense? Right? Like, and that too is a gross generalization. But when you're coming at a product, right, and you're describing a product, it's really like, it's the difference between, hey, try this thing, and yeah, you could try it. You might like it. I'm not selling you. I'm not selling you. I'm just telling you what my experience is, and you can take it or leave it. And I think that's what's happening right now. So again, gross generalizations. Some people are going to argue with me about it, and that's all good. Let's argue over a glass of wine, shall we? Let's see. Let me keep going here. I think there was. Um, um, Thank you, Randy. My keynote. Oh my gosh! You know that was 4 years ago. I feel like wow, um, crazy. But thank you so much. Um, Susan, do I coach direct voice actors with their demo scripts? I certainly can. Yes. Um, I certainly can. That really all depends upon who's doing your demo and what their thing is. I find demo makers to be it's like I've taken some truth serum. I find demo makers to be an interesting breed these days. We kind of have made gods of our demo makers. Demo making to me is um, collaborative, uh, really collaborative. And just because somebody is a really great engineer does not mean they're a really great director. But we've come to expect that a demo maker is going to provide you all the scripts and they're going to direct you and then they're going to engineer the whole thing and put the whole thing together. And that they are excellent at all three of those things. And I don't find that to be true. So am I willing to do that? Absolutely. Of course. Like you can book time with me and we can work on anything you want, and if that means that those are scripts that are coming from, that are going to be used for your demo, fantastic. But here's the problem, right? I have an idea, you come to me, I have an idea of what particular things need to sound like or ought to sound like, or the approach to the read, right? So you may then take that read to your demo producer and then may be like, yeah, you have to smile. You have to smile more. Whereas you and I may have just spent an hour talking about how there's no smiling in TV commercials anymore. So then that puts you in the middle of like, what do I do? Do I do the thing that, you know, this coach gave me, or do I do this thing that this demo producer is asking of me? Right? So in that, it is this whole idea that you are in charge of your demo. It's your demo, right? And that's where we give too much power to demo producers, because they're like, well, I'm the one sitting here and I'm the one in control and I'm the one who pushes the record button and, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to that. It seems like such a simple question, and I will say the simple answer is absolutely I would. And then, what does your demo producer have to say about it? Um, so there, I have no, hard and fast answer about how that will ultimately end up working for you, right? And I think if there's anything it in this is like, choose your demo producer really, really carefully. So, all right, let's see. I know there's more. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, Sorry from from me. Um, okay. Yes, Scott Chambers. Yes, nice to see you too. And yeah, I'm like, oh, I mean, I canceled this. I canceled the coaching session today because I'm like, I'm I gotta get my, you know, thousands of emails. Like it's ridiculous. Um, John, conferences are a great opportunity to try on a coach. That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And you can even really check out a coach's vibe if they're on a panel, right? Like that's super helpful as well. So, um, let's see. Um, let's see. Truth serum. Yes. Oh my goodness. Um, let's see. You are so right. Each VO career is a different journey. We all do things differently, and a conference like VO Atlanta is a great way to learn how others uniquely navigate each journey. That is very true. Very true. Boy is that freeing when you realize that your career is your career. It's not somebody else's and you get to navigate it the way you want to, right? Um where what would I book on your site for that? Um Susan, just if you, I mean, if you just want, just book as if you, I think I name these things. I really shouldn't name them. It should just be like book an hour, because it doesn't matter. I mean, if you book a career coaching, I'll still work with you on copy. If you book brand imaging, I'll still work with you on your copy. It doesn't matter. It's like book an hour, and then if you want to book a package, book a package. That's it. That's really it. And it doesn't matter what the name of the thing is. I mean, obviously you don't want to book the 15-minute consultation. Um, I think that's the only one, or the 20-minute audition, because that's quick and dirty, right? Like that's like, yeah, we got 20 minutes to get you through an audition, and that's never enough time, right? So if you want to do that, just book either of the other two, and you're fine. If you book an hour or book a package. So yeah. Um, let's see. I am so happy to see you all here. I can't even handle it. Thank you so much. Um, you know what, Susan, I'm actually working with a couple of people to try to figure out the whole demo process. It's like, it's sometimes it keeps me up at night because I really want to be able to provide resources for people to make demos when they don't know where to go, or when they've had demos produced for them that ultimately haven't worked, which just slays me. It kills me because demos are so expensive, and it's so I'm working on that, and when I do, I will make it known. Let's see. Yeah, Christina. Yeah, you can try this or not, whatever. That's really it. Um, let's see. Let's see. Christy, Speechless VO podcast. This is a good podcast. Um, Kim Wilson and Natasha Marchevka, their podcast, did a series with coaches for those who don't get to conferences. That would be interesting to see. Let's see. My Do I coach for e-learning? You know what? I don't. I do not coach for e-learning. Um, Somebody gave me the name of somebody who's really great at it. I got to compile my list of coaches for people. got to put that on my to-do list. Um, Jim, my first conference and my head was spinning from all the great sessions and meeting so many wonderful people. I'm exhausted too. Yeah, nap time for sure. Um, yeah, there shouldn't be any cookie cutter format for demos. Yeah, I'm trying something new. So maybe, yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, let's totally talk about it. I love the subject and I really, really want to help. That is the truth. It's like, I wish that I was, well, it's a whole thing, coaching is a whole thing. So, Shauna, I'm exhausted, but it was so good to be there. Yes. Did I tell you? I have to tell you this. It was kind of hilarious. So I was rooming with my dear friend Danny States, who runs Voiceover View. And I'll say that she does that secondarily. She's a voice actor, and she provides this fantastic service with Voiceover View, which is a way to sort of keep track of your work and keep track of your money, and it's really user friendly. I suggest that you check it out. I don't get a kickback. I just think it's great. And she's a beautiful, lovely person. So I roomed with Danny. And, for the first 2 nights, I didn't go to bed till 2. One night I was like, up till 2:45. I'm like, how am I going to get up, at a reasonable hour? Anyway, the third night that I was there, went to dinner with a small group of people and was like, all right, I'm walking back to the hotel, which we were like 2 hours, 2 miles from the conference hotel. So it was a really nice walk. We ended up in the middle of this butterfly parade, which was just like, what, where am I? So it was crazy. It was so fun. Anyway, so I get to bed at a reasonable hour, like 11, and I'm thinking, great. God, I could sleep until 8 and still be leisurely with my coffee and get to where I need to be by 10. 5:45 in the morning, bah, bah, like lights, like the whole hotel had to be evacuated. The fire alarm went off. Like we're scrambling, right? This is the day that we're leaving. It was early Sunday morning. And Danny and I were both like, really? I mean, I could not have been, it was almost like, I'm just going to sleep through it. I don't care if there's a fire. I'm so tired. Right. But we got up. It's like, all right, I got my phone. That's what I got. A phone and my sweater. And we go out, we stand outside for 20 minutes. And they're like, false alarm, but we can't turn it off. We have to wait for the fire department. So they show up, they turn it off. We all go back up. And it was just like lying in bed there, like, so much for that good night's sleep, which I was hoping to get because I was driving home and I wanted to be awake and everything. Anyway, managed to go back to sleep for another hour, but it was kind of hilarious. So that's how my conference ended. Let's see. E-learning and Ganguza, yes, and there's another person, and I'm gonna find that out and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post her name. So I finally saw Danny on the plane home. Oh, that's fantastic. Roy, yes, bring in the bagels, man. Outstanding. I saw you, Roy, peripherally. So many people I saw peripherally. Was that the Hilton? It was not the Hilton. It was the Kimpton. As we stayed at the Kimpton, which was right next to like one of Porsche's U.S. headquarters, and there was actually a Porsche track right behind the hotel. Like there was a Porsche repair place, and I'm like, oh, so they like repair your Porsche and then drive it around the track to make sure it does everything a Porsche should do. I don't know why they have a track, but and anyway, let's see. I don't think there's anything else. I don't want to keep you. Um, great. Did I miss anyone? Um, I see you. I see you. Christy, Susan, Tammy, Jim, Roy, Shauna. I think. I think. I think. Uh, yeah. Let's see. I think I have everybody. Christina, Beth. Truth serum. Indeed, it's a little dangerous to speak the truth, isn't it? Um, yeah, I think I got everybody. Randy, Susan. This doesn't let me go. This is so weird. Um, anyway, John, yes, I got you all. Okay. Thank you so much for these really great questions. I can't tell you how great that is, like for me. I really, really, truly love answering your questions. And I will come back and I will add a little, I will get an e-learning person in there again. Because, yes, Anganguza is great. And at the same time, we all need options, right? Because we all can't go to the same, and not everybody works for everyone, right? So, like, options are always a good idea. So, anyway, there we go. Have a fantastic remainder of your Tuesday and the rest of the week. And you know what? Here comes April. How are your taxes? Get to your taxes. Hate it so much. Anyway, that's the season we're in. Let's get them done so we can move on to the rest of spring and into summer. All right, I will see you next week. And really, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much. Oh, I got to see. There's another few comments. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Julie Williams. Okay. Debbie Irwin, medical stuff. Oh my God, you guys are fantastic. Look at you providing all these names. Bridget Real. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ah, yes, the collective wisdom. That's why we're in a group. All right, everybody. Mwah. Have a great one.